This is my truth. Tell me the truth. Tell me my truth. Tell me what the truth feels like. This is my truth. Yeah, truth.
Hi, welcome to this Fishing for the Truth. Today we're in the band room at the Novello Theatre in London. I've talked to many people over the past year about many different subjects. Today's got to be one of my favourite subjects, which is music. Which is why I've asked the incredibly gifted Ben Lochrie to join me to talk about, amongst other things, what it takes to be a successful working professional musician. And especially at, how old are you?
25.
25. That is no mean feat. So that's what we're here to talk about today. We've had to reschedule this a few times, but thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you.
You currently, amongst other things, DEP, which means a stand-in for...
Currently depping on Mamma Mia and Lion King, but the main gig that I do at the moment is Go West, which is a 80s band. They had a few hits.
A few, yeah. Go West, for anybody who doesn't know, and shame on you if you don't, because they were definitely one of my favourites growing up, and still are. They're an English pop duo that formed in 1982.
I think so,
yeah.
82, 83.
By Peter Cox and Richard Drummie. And they're still going strong. They won in 1986, they got a BRIT award for Best British Newcomer. So, you tour with them now as lead guitarist,
yeah,
is that right?
I've been touring with them for the last 2 years, around the UK, Australia, and a tiny bit of Europe as well. A couple of cruises. And
amazing.
Yeah, it's been really good fun, and it's an amazing gig musically as well for the whole band.
How many members are there in the...
Bass, drums, keyboards and me, and then the two turns, which are Peter Cox and Richard Drummie.
Yeah.
So 6 of us in total.
That's so cool. And the amazing thing is, I mean, it's kind of like history repeating itself as far as you're now lead guitarist with the band. From 87 to 93, I think your dad said it was. I messaged him to ask
Roughly,
him.
Yeah.
Your dad was the bassist for them.
Yeah.
So how did...
crazy, yeah. So
how did it come about for you?
I was recording at a studio in Send, and the current drummer who was playing with them was listening outside, but had a phone call from Richard Drummie. They're looking for a new guitarist. So he recommended me from hearing this session that he kind of overheard from outside, and I went and auditioned, and I think they did know who I was.
Right.
Of course they did.
I love that, because when I bumped into you and you said that you were playing with them, I think the automatic assumption would be that your dad had mentioned you, but the fact is that your playing was what got you noticed. But you got the job off your own.
Yeah, I mean, but it did help that I'd been brought up kind of watching my dad do TV stuff and recordings of them as well, and so I did know the stuff, which was useful. Yeah,
it was in your consciousness, I guess.
And
but...
Adam Murphy, who was their original guitarist, was amazing. He's dead now, but amazing player. So I obviously was exposed to all that as well, which was good stuff. So
when did you first pick up an instrument?
We were house sitting for a friend of my dad's, and he has a big guitar collection, so I picked up one of his, and it was upside down because I'm left-handed, and I try and work things out, trying to play everything on one string, not really knowing what was happening.
Yeah.
Or what I was doing. Some guitar lessons, but I think, yeah, I just didn't like lessons. I just wanted to learn myself, really.
Yeah.
It was mainly by ear that
Right.
I taught myself to play.
Did you watch your dad playing a lot, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was always exposed to different bands and sessions that he was doing.
Yeah.
I went to America when he was with Bad Company, on tour with him, and
Wow.
that was amazing. I sat in shows with him and kind of saw this
Yeah.
side of the thing, the theatre side of things, and learnt a lot off of seeing all that as well. So.
Did you know back then, though, that it was something that you would want to pursue, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely thought, like, oh, this is fun. This is how you make money. This is normal, and like just
Right.
kind of, I don't know, it just kind of happened naturally.
So you thought it was fun, good way to make money. I mean, some people would probably think that that's the opposite of what you should expect. I mean, has it lived up to that? Or I don't doubt for a minute that there's an incredible amount of hard work and sacrifice that goes into
Yeah, definitely.
making it to a point where you can do it for a living.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be passionate about it for you to progress any amount that you would be able to do it as for a living. So yeah, there is hours and hours of dedication and practice that goes with it, but it wasn't challenging to put in that effort, because it did seem so normal. It
Right.
was kind of it was just something that we would talk about, and my dad plays bass, which is
It's not an alien world
slightly
for you, is
different
it?
instrument, but it's similar. But he taught me how to listen and teach myself, and and that was something that I really enjoyed, and
Right.
working things out and trying to maybe replicate something that I'd heard on a record.
Any particular influences as far as that's concerned when you were teaching yourself?
Loads of classic rock and blues, which probably came from what I was exposed to when I was growing up. So anything live is what I like, really.
Regardless of the genre?
Yeah, but I started off with the kind of blues rock thing,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of guitarists do.
Right.
And that's definitely stuck as well. That's always been something that I kind of go back to.
Yeah. Any particular artists or?
I like Leonard Skinner. Aerosmith was a big one. Queen, Brian May, he was a big influence. Alan Murphy, who I was talking about earlier, was a big influence as well.
God, there are so many. There's a big pool to choose from, I guess, isn't it?
I think everybody's an influence in some way, like Keith Airy, Terry Johnson.
Absolutely.
I watched them for years, and
yeah, if you're a sponge and you're willing to just soak stuff in.
Yeah, and I took in loads of information off of them as well. So, in some senses, I learnt more off of them than I have off of Brian May, because that's been more of what I was exposed to.
Yeah, it's tangible, isn't it?
But definitely influences coming from everywhere, what to do, or what I think I should do, or what I shouldn't do, or think I shouldn't do.
Is there anything growing up being surrounded by that kind of world that you thought that you learnt not to do? Or not as far as playing, but as far as what you're exposed to? Or
I think I definitely don't take things to the limit, maybe as much as some people in terms of partying. Like I don't like to get messed up the night before a gig or a show.
Yeah.
So
You were saying to me the
I
other
like
day,
to
weren't
be
you, that
kind of clear-headed and
yeah, you don't even drink caffeine necessarily because it.
yeah, like I don't drink too much caffeine. I try and eat quite healthily.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think all that's quite important in kind of keeping everything balanced.
Definitely, yeah. Especially as far as longevity is concerned, I guess, if you want to be doing this for
Yeah, definitely.
a long time.
Yeah.
But so I first met you, I was trying to remember, because Jazz, Ben's dad, I met him when I was performing in Mamma Mia, and he was in the band here for, God, a good few years. 15
At least
years?
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to organise a thing called band night where the guys from the band would set up their kit over the road at the pub, and any cast members who wanted to sing songs could sing with them. The only rule was there was no musical theatre. That was my rule, because I didn't want anyone to sing that. I just wanted people to be able to sing stuff that they never normally get to sing with an incredible band. And I remember one year, and I picked his brains, and he couldn't remember. He reckons it was 2005 when we were doing a band night, and he brought you along. So you would have been how old then?
10 years. Wait, what year was this?
If it was 2005, 2006.
12 or 13.
Wowzers. So he brought you along, and I remember you getting up and playing on one of the songs.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really struck me about you then, and kind of still now, even though I don't know you that well, but was the fact that you seemed you were very comfortable around people and comfortable to talk to people, but quite at the same time unassuming and not necessarily introverted, but not extroverted, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you are or not.
Well, I think I definitely got a lot of my mum and my dad. My dad's definitely extroverted,
Yeah.
and my mum was definitely more introverted.
Okay. Because I was
So-
going to ask you what... It would be easy for people to assume that in order to get up on stage and do anything like that for a living, you have to automatically be an extrovert, which we both know isn't the case, because I'm sure we both work with people who are quite the opposite of that.
Yeah.
And yet when they're on stage, it's a kind of safe haven and a space for them where they can maybe project a side of themselves that they don't normally project in everyday life. So where's that line between confidence and extroversion, do you think?
I don't know.
Because you've got to be
think-
confident, haven't you? You've got to have self-belief.
Yeah, I think there's part of kind of doubting yourself, thinking, "Oh, am I good enough?" But you definitely get used to playing in front of people, and probably when I was 13, I'd feel quite nervous getting up on stage, but now it's not the same. Like, everything feels much more comfortable.
Yeah. Off the stage, are you a natural performer as such, or a...
No, I like chilling out and just if I'm not performing, then I'm usually just chilling out and hanging out with people, and
It's interesting. It's
not
like a
partying
sort of...
too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
No,
So interesting. And you studied at... So when did you go? You went to the BRIT school, didn't you?
yeah.
Which is well renowned for producing lots of incredible actors, singers, musicians.
Yeah, there's been quite a few. Yeah.
When did you go there?
I think it was 2012, 13. Was that?
So what was that experience
I can't
like?
remember what
Like
the
for
years
you?
were, to be honest. It was good. It was
Because you obviously already went there armed with a certain amount of knowledge that maybe some people who would go there wouldn't
Well,
have at that point.
it was a great place to focus on just music, but it didn't focus on your individual chosen instrument as much as I thought it was going to. It kind of definitely teaches you about the history of music and a bit about world music and ethnomusicology, which is just world instruments. I did an extra course on music theory. There was one slot to do an extra chosen subject. Some people did a English A level,
Right.
but I was like, no, I'll do another music thing.
Yeah.
It was a good place to meet people. Some people I'm still in touch with, and some people are doing really well. But not somewhere that you would go to learn an instrument.
Okay.
It's something that it's focusing on all the other areas apart from playing your instrument, basically.
Right. Was that frustrating at the time, or did you just make time for that outside of the course?
I think a teacher can only teach you to teach yourself anyway. Like,
That's a good point.
nobody can force information into your head.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to do something, then you'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you'll probably make an excuse. And
So the buck kind of stops with you at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. So it was good, kind of having all that, and then going home and do some practice when I had the time as well. So
Yeah. I'm assuming that you play, whether you're working of a day, you play every day.
yeah, I always try and pick up the guitar, and sometimes it might be for a few hours, or sometimes it might be for a couple of minutes. But I always pick it up and do something with it.
Did you also did you also go to the London School of Economics?
No.
Why does it say that on your Facebook?
Oh, I think I just like it's a piss take. I was just like, what else could I put? Like, no, I didn't go to.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what did he do there? Nothing, apparently.
Yeah, no, I didn't do anything there.
It's so strange.
I don't like putting too much personal information on Facebook.
So you throw people off with a red herring.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. It's
That's so funny.
What other things can I random crap can I throw in there? So never take Facebook too seriously. Is the moral of that.
Thank you. Yes, if we learned nothing else today, then we've learnt that. That's so funny. Oh, I'm dying to see you with Go West, and I will do one day.
Anytime,
I will.
Anytime.
I'm just trying to make it work. I can't make it over to Australia later this year, which is where you're going to be touring with them.
But there should be a few festivals around the UK that you can come to.
GoWest.org.uk.
Yeah.
Check it out and get there and listen to. Oh, I'm dying to hear Peter Cox sing live. He's still got an incredible voice.
Yeah.
But definitely check them out. Ben will be with them. If you could pick, who would you love to play with or work with or collaborate with or write with that you haven't yet? Because there's still plenty of time.
I don't know.
Do you write?
Yeah, I write. I do quite a lot of writing with singers and producing them.
Okay.
And I'd had a tiny bit of success with that, but it kind of requires so much free time of kind of doing 50 songs and being successful with two of them, and
Right.
having all this other stuff that may or may not ever get used for something. There's a lot of time put in, which is great fun, but also having to do the session side of things and the touring side of things. It's not always possible to do that
Right.
all the time.
So you just stay fluid with the whole thing and see where life takes you, and
Definitely just keep playing and see where it takes me.
oh, that's exciting. I
Wow.
wonder. It makes me wonder what the future holds for you.
But yeah, I don't have any particular artists that I think
Right.
I'd love to play with them.
Yeah. What advice would you give to anybody who wants to make a living from something they love, like music, or
Practice hard and get out there and do some gigs. And
There's nothing like actual live experience.
definitely, yeah, work hard and get live experience and play with other musicians and have fun, and it's pretty much mainly about having fun. Some days obviously you might not be having as much fun, but
I love that. That's a good philosophy though.
But yeah, got to have fun. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because people listening to it are there to have fun. So
Absolutely. Music's so powerful, isn't it? It's got to be one of my most favourite things, I think, in the world. I mean, there's a reason they use music therapy to improve people's lives, be it for cognitive reasons or emotional, or I mean, it's so powerful. What is it possible to say what music means for you, or is it just so much part of your life that you don't even kind of realise?
It's definitely an important part of my life, but it's also been a normal part of my life as well. Being on that side of it, I mean, it kind of distorts your view on everything. Kind of, I definitely think being a musician, you analyse music differently, and you kind of you don't listen to music the same as like the general public who might not have a clue about chords or harmony. Or
is that a good thing, or do you wish that you could just listen to a piece of music and absorb it without kind of analysing little?
Well, sometimes I do, and that's with things that I really like.
Okay, so you can still do that.
Yeah, with things that I really like, that does still happen. But I find I'm more critical with lots of music. I'm very picky with what I do like because of that. I'll pick out things that might annoy me because I think, like, that's a mistake, like they mean to do that, or that just sounds not good to me.
Yeah.
But to somebody else would be like, oh, I love that sound.
That makes sense to me, because when I was, for years, working as a dancer, for example, if I was watching a piece, if there's anything that's kind of slightly amiss about it, then my eye and my brain will go towards the kind of critical side of things.
Yeah.
But if I'm, and I don't think it's even, I don't know whether it's like this with you listening to a piece of music. For me, I don't think it's even about anything being perfect as such, but if I'm moved by something, then I'm not even looking analytically at it.
Definitely.
If it takes you somewhere.
I don't think anything has to be perfect. I think if things are too perfect, then it can be like with a lot of music that's quantized and done with a computer, it's all perfectly in time, and kind of loses a lot of feel. But I was listening to some stems of Deep Purple recently, and just isolating the drums and the guitar, and nothing's perfect, but together it sounds great.
It's all subjective as well, though, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's such a personal
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all opinion. It's a good thing about music, and that's why you get so many different kinds.
Absolutely.
It's all been done before, but there's always new stuff happening as well, which is cool.
It's incredible how much you can do with, how many notes in an octave? 7? Well, 7, and then you've got the sharps and flats, but that's a really small pool of notes that the world of music over centuries has come from. Yeah. It's quite incredible.
I know, yeah. It's definitely come a long way. But,
God, yeah. It's fascinating.
I wonder where it's gonna go in the future, or whether the live element's gonna stay there, or whether the electronic element's gonna take over, and
Surely there'll always be the need for live, surely.
We'd hope so, yeah.
Because you can't replicate that feeling of being. I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day, that I often cry at gigs because I'm so moved by there's an energy about live music that I don't think, when you're actually there listening to it, that I don't think you can get from a recording necessarily.
Yeah, I think going to a gig and actually hearing it played, through a massive sound system.
With the collective of people and all their energy as well, and everyone there for the same purpose.
Yeah, definitely energy bouncing off.
Yeah. Do you feel that when you're on stage?
Definitely. It can make the difference between a good gig and a not so good gig is what the audience are like.
Yeah. So it's not even about you, it's about...
Yeah, they're having fun, then it helps us to have fun, and then it just keeps on kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely helps to have a good time if the audience are having a good time as well.
Yeah. Does it feel like a privilege to do it for a living?
Yeah, most of the time I feel like I'm really lucky to be doing it.
To be making something that makes people happy.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful stuff. Especially, well, at any point in time, but it feels like especially now, if ever we need to feel something joyous and something uplifting, which is what music can do.
It'd be a horrible world without music or art. There'd be nothing at all to the world without it, really. It's two of the most important things.
Yeah.
But I think it's worrying that there's been a lot of cuts to the schools in that area.
Right.
Even when I was going to school, there wasn't. I had to go to a different school to do a music class because they didn't have music at my school.
Wow.
So, but that wasn't for long because I then got into BRIT and went there, and obviously didn't have that problem there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame that not as many people are getting to do that.
Yeah, because it's not just about, as far as forming who people grow up to be, or it's not necessarily about just music, it's about what that gives them as far as how children will develop if they have access to music and art and creative expression,
I've been teaching my niece guitar recently.
Have you? How old is she?
She's 13 now.
Wow.
So yeah, she's at secondary school, and I think it's a really good thing for her. I think she enjoys it, and you never know if it's gonna end up a similar situation for me and my dad and her. Like, who knows whether she'll pursue it or not, but if she's got the option and the skills to do it.
Right. How's she getting on with it? Is she doing well?
Yeah, I think she needs to practice more.
Okay.
So, yeah, not as well as I'd like, but...
You need to love it, don't you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, you've got to love it to want to do it. If you don't, then you'll not put the hours in. But then again, some people just want to learn a couple of chords and write some songs, and that's just as important as being a technically capable musician, is being able to write a song. So some hits are just 4 chords. It doesn't mean like you have to be able to play really fast, or I guess if people can relate to it somehow, then that would be the main thing.
Absolutely. You could talk for hours, couldn't you? But I don't necessarily want it to be a really long video. I just think it's a nice little, it's like a little window, a little bit of insight into another world that for some people they just don't know anything about,
Yeah.
or have wondered about. Or thanks for your time.
No, anytime. Yeah, it's really good chatting.
That's amazing. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, you can click on the like button and subscribe, and I'll put any useful links in the video description underneath. And yeah, this was good.
It's great, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.